Michigan, -9. Hosting Minnesota. Were you surprised to see Michigan beat USC last weekend? Great game. I think a lot of people were fading Michigan after that performance against Texas, but maybe Texas is just that good. Michigan is still a very good football team. They are still the defending national champions, and they have made that offense more dynamic now that Alex Orji is there in the lineup because he can pass, he can run. He's just more of a threat than Davis Warren was, so they made the right call. And if you look at the history between these two teams, Michigan has owned Minnesota. They have won 9 out of the last 10 matchups, and in those 9 wins, Michigan has covered 8 times. This is a BetQL 5-star best bet. I'm on it. The Donkster is on it, and it cashes at the big house. Michigan, -9, hosting the Golden Gophers.
Ooh, it's a Michael Jenkins 5-star pupusa best bet wrapped in, a winner wrapped in a winner, wrapped in a bunch of flour casing. Maybe that's how you phrase it. If you want to watch it, it is a noon Eastern start at the Big House on Saturday.
Pick six.
All right, so we've talked about the culture, or maybe lack of, in the South. So we love Starbucks, we love Target, we love Cracker Barrel, and we love our churches. But you know what else we love? College football. We've got the game of the year, basically, between Georgia and Alabama this weekend. So when something's the game of the year, like this is when we see the low-scoring affairs. Like remember when we saw the game of the century between, was it Alabama and LSU, and it was like final score 9-6? Okay, so maybe the total won't be that low, but I'm going to hit the under 49.5 between these two teams. We've seen from Georgia all season long, they've been a little conservative on their offensive game plan. I was scratching my head in that Clemson game saying, where are the playmakers? What are you doing? Carson Beck is NFL ready. Let's let him have a little reign. I don't think that's going to be the case when so much is on the line in this game. Plus, you look at both these defenses in the top 6 of pass defenses so far this season. Alabama allowing just 115 yards per game through the air. And so Jalen Milroe is probably the sabotage factor here. But the one thing that's been good for Georgia this year has been their defense. Even when the offense doesn't get it going, like we saw against Kentucky, 13-12 final score, the defense holds steady. So I think both these coaches are going to be playing ball control. I think we see the defenses rule the roost, and I'll hit the under 49.5 between Alabama and Georgia.
I think that's a very good call. And if you want to check it out, the Crimson Tide and the Dogs getting together. Tuscaloosa, Saturday night at 7:30.
Pick six.
Texas fight. Oh, my goodness. Texas -37.5. Hosting Mississippi State. Yes, I'll take it. It opened at 34 and a hook. Went up 3 points. Why? I don't know. I don't care. I think it has something to do with the fact that Mississippi State is starting a true freshman because Blake Shapen, their regular starter, out for the season. That is bad news against a Texas defense that is a top 5 defense in college football right now. It does not matter if Quinn Ewers starts. I think he does. It doesn't matter if Arch Manning starts because he will play. This Texas offense is too good top to bottom, and they have covered the number in every single game this season. I'm not sure how Mississippi State is going to score. Texas has allowed more than 11 points once this season, and that was against Michigan when they allowed 12 to the Wolverines on a junk touchdown in Ann Arbor. I'm getting a steak dinner out of this because I bet on it with Smoot, and I'm getting a dub. The Longhorns go into the bye week after crushing a bad Bulldogs team. Horns -37 and a hook, or you just lay -10,000.
All right, so if you're expecting Texas to roll and you want to watch that game, it's set for a 4:15 kick in Austin.
Pick six.
All right, next up for me, it's corn. Remember that song about corn? Let's go corn. I'm going to lay the 10 with Nebraska this week. I feel like you look at this line and it seems a little strange to me because last week we saw this line with Nebraska laying around 10 points to a way more talented Illinois team. So I understand that Illinois won that game outright, but Purdue is a different story. This is a team that cannot stop the run. Purdue allowed a 703 rush yards over the last 2 weeks against Notre Dame and Oregon State. So when Nebraska has their first road game this season, and I know the stories have been about Dylan Raiola, I think you just hand the ball off and pound the rock against this really bad rush attack or rush defense in Purdue. So I'm going to go with Nebraska laying 10. More of a fade of Purdue here. So let's go Corn. It's Corn. Let's go Huskers.
Oh, let's go Huskers. A noon Eastern start in West Lafayette between Nebraska and Purdue. Talk with Abe Gordon. He is co-host of College Football Game Time each Saturday morning on 92.9 The Game in Atlanta. Also part of the midday show, Andy and Randy on 92.9 The Game as well. Everyone's talking about Jalen Milroy. I certainly understand why. But how good is Carson Beck on the other side for Georgia? Because this is a guy who has gotten some Heisman hype as well.
Not good enough. Right now, not good enough. I mean, that's the easy answer. This is a guy that we said was among the 3 or 4 preseason Heisman favorites. This is a guy that's one of the 2 or 3 guys at quarterback who could go as a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. And he has not looked that way. There's no way to work around that. But again, I have 2 questions for you. How much of this playbook has actually been open for Carson Beck or for Mike Bobo? I really think they've held back quite a few things, designs, formations, go-to play calls that I think you probably will see on Saturday. And the other aspect is the Brock Bowers, Lad McConkey question. How much of last year was about those guys, and how much about this year is about finding guys to step up essentially into those roles? It maybe not necessarily identical, but at least guys he has trust in, has a familiarity with, and can become the security blanket. I'll tell you this. There's no way Georgia's winning this game if Jalen Milroe's the better passer on Saturday. Carson Beck has to step up. This is his game. This is the moment where he says, all right, maybe he actually is a top 5 pick. Maybe he actually can play his way into the Heisman. And here's the thing. He's got so many games this year against top teams that if he continues to win them, if he can win one on Saturday and continues to win, he goes to Texas. If he can knock them off, he goes to Ole Miss. If he can knock them off, they get Tennessee, him and Nico going at it at home there. I mean, if he's winning all these games against what is likely a bunch of top 5 opponents, top 7 opponents, he's going to be in the Heisman discussion, but he has got to perform a little bit better than he had.